Good evening, everybody. It is Saturday, the 21st of February, 2026, and this is Spencer Keck with the Hillbilly Think Tank. I'm coming at you live from Tunnel Hills here in Elizabethtown, Hardin County, and I am the educated hillbilly. Now, that's not an oxymoron. Don't call me a moron. So here in Tunnel Hills and all of Hardin County, we're dedicated to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, because we know that that is what makes us free. We also know that to be free, we need to also be of service to one another freely, lovingly. So that's why I'm here. Now, yesterday after I talked to you, we had heard that the Supreme Court struck down the tariffs that the president has been imposing for a year. And the Supreme Court said that the Congress is the only one that can put the tariffs on that the president had imposed, and that the president can sign tariff legislation or veto tariff legislation, but he can't unilaterally impose budgetary items without Congress. So what did he do? He changed the name of what he was doing and said he's still going to put tariffs on, but now they're national security tariffs, whatever he pulled out of his wazoo. And now we have a 15% tariff instead of a 10% tariff announced this morning via whatever his social media is that he's using. Well, nothing can be doing any good, and you can't do any of this stuff the normal channels that presidents have in the past. Well, I was looking at these tariffs and what are they doing to our farmers here in Kentucky? Well, we'll start off nationwide. In 2025, there is an increase in chapter farm bankruptcies of 315 nationwide. Now, we've already been decreasing year by year by year for the past 50 years, the amount of farmers in the nation. But this was a 46% increase from 2024. Now, under regional context, Kentucky falls in the Southeast. The Southeast saw 105 cases, which was a 69% increase over the previous year. That's in the Southeast. 69% increase of Chapter 12 bankruptcies of farms. So this is not good for our state, for our region. It is absolutely devastating to our agri economy. We have a couple big cities that make a lot of industrial things. We've got a UPS hub in Louisville, got quite a bit of Amazon hubs all around the state. We've got Ford plant in Louisville. Here in Hardin County, of course, we know Blue Oval SK. Ford's Blue Oval SK is gone. 1,600 jobs here in Hardin County lost. And I'm just wondering what it is that we need to do. Well, number one, as I've been saying, this is my 21st day now of my fast from fascism. I'm giving up my dependency on Jeff Bezos's Amazon and his fascist oligarchy ploy for at least February. So I've got at least 7 more days to go. But has it hurt me any? No, not really. Because I've been doing what I should have been doing all along. And I already did a lot of this, but I'm doing way more of it now, and that is buying local. I'm concentrating on spending all my money locally instead of giving it to Jeff Bezos to turn right around and grift off of taxpayers' dollars and help the administration grift. So that's what I'm doing. It's working. We'll see how well once we all get the clue that that's the way we'll shut this down. We've got to shut these guys down. Now, in the meantime, today I took some time after going to a meeting, political meeting. I went and thought, you know what? Let me just go do a little bit of history and genealogy research downtown Elizabethtown at the Historical Society. And what a good time that was. I know that my third, fourth great grandparents, all were Hardin County originals, possibly even back to fifth grandfather, Dixon Brown. And Dixon Brown had a son named Dixon, who had a son named William. And William Brown married a Lavina Bunch. So just looking back at all the stuff that they went through to get here and be some of the very first settlers in this county, in this region. Now, they settled along the Nolin River on the West Fork. There was mention of them also on Muldraw Hill. But, it seems to me, from what I'm looking at, there was a lot of cooperation back then. Folks didn't just automatically hate one another when they were going through the toughness of settling into a new place. Nothing was handed to them here. And they had to shop local or make it local. So they built local, they made it local. It's time for us to return back to that. Let's get back to what it is that originally we started out with. And that was just having our neighbors, helping our neighbors, and being cooperative, mutually helping each other, knowing that our survival was mutual. None of us are lone wolves. Who do we got tonight? We got copycats here. Don't forget the big companies like Amazon are almost supporting, the PDFs. Shopping local is better in so many ways. And we know that, hey, all these oligarchs were supporting the pedos. And now they've got to pay for it. We've got to get rid of the two systems of justice. The one justice for the Epstein class and the other justice system for those of us that fall below that level of richness. Here in Hardin County, we don't have any of the Epstein class that I'm aware of. And so we really shouldn't be supporting anything close to that. The guardians of the pedophiles, they can keep on that GOP talk and act like they've got to save those guys or else the system will fall. But I think we're all ready for a system that supports these Epstein PDFs, as Coffeecat said. We're ready for that system to come crumbling down. And we can vote it down in November. But we won't be able to vote it down if the folks at the top think that they're untouchable from now till November, because they're going to be doing everything they can to convince us not to vote against their best interests. So, number one, hit them with their pocketbook. It's all these guys that set us up for the rich to rule everyone. And that wasn't the way Kentucky was settled. Again, looking back, history of my kin that came here, my kith and kin that came to this area, all of them came through with Daniel Boone and his brother, Squire Boone. You know, they settled here to get away from that ruling class on the East Coast, the Tidewater area, Baltimore area, Pennsylvania area, South Carolina coast, all those coastal, as we still call them, coastal elites that back then were truly pushing down the working man. You know, Daniel Boone, who they came through with, he was in danger of his whole family returning to the East and being made indentured servants because he had some debts that those folks wanted him to pay off or else. So they said, hey, you've already been doing long hunting out there in Kentucky. Go back, prospect these areas here. We're going to sell land to people out there in Kentucky, even though at that point it was illegal to sell land here, according to the British. If you do this for us, we'll forgive your debt and your family won't have to go into indentured slavery or indenturehood, which is slavery. So that's why he came through. The folks that came through were not coming through the Cumberland Gap and coming through here in Kentucky, setting up Boonesboro, setting up Harrodsburg. They didn't do it to allow folks like the Epstein class to rule the country that they were building. That's not what Kentucky's about. So we've got to look past left, right, liberal, progressive, and what is best for all of America. And it definitely is not ruled by Jeff Bezos, Musk, Bill Gates, Thiel, and all those other sons of bitches that were there at the island. That's not good for America. It's not good for Kentucky. It's definitely not good for Hardin County. We need our heritage of hard work, tenacity, fortitude, and working for simply life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We need that not to be taken away from us by the Epstein class. So the Epstein class isn't going to push back on these tariffs that are driving farms into the ground, driving farmers to bankruptcy. We've got to do it. Epstein class isn't coming to save us. They're doing anything but that. They didn't save the young women, young girls, they weren't women, that were mistreated there on the island. They didn't do anything to help those that were being mistreated out at the ranch in New Mexico that we now know about, where there might be many bodies buried, hidden. So it's time for us to make Kentucky what we know my ancestors that came to Hardin County and went to Eastern Kentucky. We have a long Kentucky history of being upstanding, hardworking, caring folks who love their neighbors as themselves and know that mutually we can help each other. But we cannot expect anything from the Epstein class but indentured servitude, slavery. They'll call it something else and they'll talk to you. They'll tell you that, oh, if you don't let them rule, you're going to lose your rifles. Well, nope. Still got the same rifle that went all over Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Pennsylvania. Still got that rifle. I still go hunting and fishing. So, nope. This guy here, He's not losing that. But I will not bow my knee to the Epstein elite. Will you? If you won't, then vote for me. Hardin County Magistrate, District 3, come November. I'm one of your candidates. Make me the elected official. And with that, as I say every night, remember, please like and subscribe to this channel. Please show some friends, show 5 friends, 10 friends this channel. Get them to like and subscribe. That way we can get the word out. We've got to be here for each other. We know that in Kentucky, united we stand and divided we fall. And sorry, Tom, I know you're not in my district and you can't vote for me, but I appreciate you at least supporting, getting the word out. So, and it's like Copycat said, Kentucky is not about the richest. It's about the working folk. So, we are our brother's keeper and our sister's keeper. As we love our neighbors as ourselves, that's just us telling each other mutually, we're here to help one another, to make sure that we can't be divided so we can't fall. Bless your corazón. Have a great evening. Have a great rest of the weekend.